Today we're setting up my quarterly and monthly goals inside the MäksēLife Undated Monthly. We'll add a little flair to my reading tracker with the planner cake kit, and we're going to map out what October is going to look like. So stick around because I've got some holiday planning good. Hi friends, welcome back to Lost Without a Plan. Last week we wrapped up quarter 3 with reflections and we stacked my planners for quarter 4. Today we're diving right into goal setting in my MäksēLife Undated Monthly. If you're new here, hi, I'm Amanda Lynn and I share planning content every week over here on YouTube and post behind the scenes pics and planner photos on Instagram at LostWithoutAPlan. I'm so glad you're here and I hope you'll subscribe for more planning fun. And now on to the goals. You know that I'm a big fan of the MäksēLife system. I am not an affiliate, but I truly love how this planner helps me stay on track. They do offer some quarterly toolkits, but I find that they lean more on the reflection aspect, more so than action. So I've been working on some of my own quarterly worksheets so that I can see my goals laid out before I come to this step. Kind of like my monthly overview sheet, but it stretches across all 3 months. It's in the works, so you'll probably see more of that as we get closer to the year end. I printed out these worksheets from the MäksēLife system. These are the monthly at a glance printables. Like, they have a lot of printables on their site. The ones that I generally use from this quarterly reflections are the ideal week schedule. I use that every time a season changes so that I can keep track of changes in schedule and timelines so that I can kind of plan out my goals. In the quarterly focus, the quarterly goal sheets are these itty bitty sheets. And I feel like it's just not enough for 3 months worth of goals. So I like to print out their full page monthly sheet that's available on their website. You can see that they also have the compass assessment, which we showed last week's video. You can print out annual intentions. Annual goals is like a gigantic half page per goal. So I don't usually use this for the quarterly, but I did want something a little bigger than the standard pages for that. So it's the monthly goals printable, and I just cut out the page, and it's well sized without the header for this page. So I figured I would just print it out in black and white and add my little colors, and then I'm gonna write on this off the page and then just kind of glue it in so that I have my quarter goals inside the planner where I need them. At this stage, I pull in my annual goals that we set way back in January. As you can see, I have made a lot of progress in all of the areas of life because we're on the last quarter. So we've done 9 months worth of work towards this. There are a couple of things that are still straggling, and I'm gonna pull them onto these sheets. Anything that I feel like is important enough to complete in the last 3 months of the year. And if there's anything that I'm blessing and releasing or putting off until quarter 1 of next year, that I'll decide as I figure this out. I know that my overview for this quarterly goals, my biggest goal is to prep well in October and November so that I can relax and enjoy December. Between Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, Hanukkah, and Violet's birthday, it's going to be a packed season. And I do definitely want to enjoy it more without the overwhelm. For personal, my main focus is to wrap up the content for the last bit of the year, do a little batching on my prep work, and then also keep working towards the course. There's a lot of steps before that can go live, so I have to just chip away at that goal. Then for self-care, I'm going down to reading 2 books a month. Not that I won't read more books than that because I've been kind of averaging about 10, but since I'm so close to my goal, I'm not going to pressure myself because this is a cozy season. If there's time to read, there's time to read, and if it's too busy, it's fine, it's not necessary. But I only have like 4 books left to hit my 100 goal, and there are 3 months left in the year, so I am very well prepped for that goal. Then I also want to update my capsule wardrobe for fall. I do have wardrobe prep sheets in my holiday binder that I go over for the season with what I'm wearing to certain performances, what we're wearing for family pictures, all of those things. So I need to do a couple of updates for my capsule wardrobe, but my capsule wardrobe is still going strong. For fun and recreation, we do have a camping trip that comes up in November, so that's going on here. We wanted to do a fun Halloween at home. That's our plan this year. When we lived in LA, our neighborhood was not ideal for trick-or-treating. We were kind of in a main thoroughfare of town, so it wasn't really safe to walk on the streets and all that stuff. But where we are now, it's kind of built for small community Halloween, and since Violet's getting a little older, we want to take advantage of that as much as we can. So we're going to trick or treat in our own neighborhood. We're also going to pass out candy. It's going to be fun. Some of the things we've added to our autumn bucket list. So this is definitely where I'm pulling from here. As you can see, seasonal bucket list right here. I'm going to write that. And then visiting family will also be there because we have a couple of events in LA where we're going back to see our friends and family, and we're gonna make the most of those trips so that we don't have to go back a lot. We're just gonna make the best of each tiny trip that we have. For work and learning, I feel like I'm just gonna focus on my own course this year for work and learning. If I do have time, there are a couple of master classes that I chose to put aside. I'm not going to give it too much weight in this season because my weight is going to be on creation instead of necessarily learning, because I have to learn how to do all the things in the back end of course creation anyways. So it's kind of like I'm learning as I go for that. This is done. Batching is up here too. Reorganizing. Okay, so my main focus here, I do have a couple of deadlines for the magazine. I have my course deadline that I set on myself, but it's still very important to me. And I have my planning sessions for monthly, and then 2026 prep for goals. That's very important to me as well. Then for family, we are still going to go strong with our game nights, movie nights, and bake-offs, especially this season, because it'll be fun to bring in some fall baking since it's not as hot as it was during the summer. And then we are good with that. Possibly a date night. Not sure if that's going to happen. And then friends and family, we already have that on queue. For annual goals for health, I am going to get back onto my routines. Last month we were so sick that I was not able to keep up with my planned workouts or healthy routines. So my goal is to get back to that. Start building again. I want to look into a new Pilates online membership. I don't remember what it's called, like Pilates Anywhere, Pilates. There's like a couple of them. I have to double check and figure out which one I want, because I saw that there's one that has a lot of exo chair workouts. And since I have an exo chair at home, I want to try that one out. And then of course my virtual challenge. I'm so close to hitting my step goal for that too. I am very confident that I will hit it before the end of the year. So that's good. I just need to keep up with that. I'm going to work on keeping up with my meal prep, trying to have healthy snacks and healthy meals at the ready for lunches and dinners. The only thing I didn't schedule for my care team was the colonoscopy, but I still haven't found a care team out here. So that one might have to move to the first quarter, but since it's not the fiscal year of my birthday, I think I'm okay because I have until June to do that. So if that has to be moved, that will be moved. My focus now is to schedule care team. I really just need to get in the system at a doctor. So if I need them at any time during the fall before my next physical, I can just call and be able to be seen by a real person instead of a virtual doctor who does not listen to anything that I say, like I just had to do. That was miserable. For community, we earned our bronze award. I'm no longer on the management team, so I just have like my Girl Scouts planning duties. I definitely want to keep exploring the community and how I can fit in. I've been working at getting locked into the church, which is great. And then I also need to keep my focus on reflections. Do want to do the billing and deposits just like we always do, but I need to do my quarter update and 2026 wrap up. Not sure if I'll finish that before the year end, but as long as I'm closer to it, I feel like the quarter one won't be as scary of a situation with my expenses. And of course, the most important thing is to sell our house. So I'm gonna put that there too, because it wasn't on here for the beginning because we didn't even know if we were relocating at that point, but we got that under control. I do want to keep up with my quarterly decluttering program just so that we can keep it as tidy as it's been since we moved in. For car care, I know that I will need to do an oil change because of all the times that I'll be going to LA this quarter, and then the standard maintenance. And that's it from here. I'm gonna jump into Trello and add the other things that I may have missed. Okay, so after a quick check in Trello, I just forgot to write about my holiday checklist, and I forgot about the launches to order my planner stack for 2026. And now it's time to spruce up my reading log with a sticker kit. Oh, I also have some reminders on here. I guess I needed some warm Christmas lights because mine are all cool, and a tree timer. So real quick, the sticker kit that I'm using this month is Planner Kate 646 The Witching Hour, and it has some cute little witchy costumes. Oops, it's upside down. Some cute little witchy costumes, and it has like this mint green. I'd say it's more of a mint, maybe a touch more teal than a mint, but and the orange is kind of more of a coral, which is kind of fun. This kit comes with days of the week to put on the headers, functional boxes, date dots, and then I also picked up the October reflections and the goals sheet. So I'm going to play a little music while I lay this in. This log helps me track books that I finished and give them a star rating. I'm this close to hitting my 2025 goal of 100 books. You can follow all of my reviews over on Goodreads or the Storygraph app at LostWithoutAPlan. Speaking of books, here's what's on deck for this month. We have Worthy from Jamie Kern Lima for the A Purpose-Driven Mom book club. We have The Unhoneymooners by Kristen Lauren for Girl Scouts book club. We're reading The Summer of Yes by Courtney Walsh for the church book club because I'm trying to get locked into my community. So I joined yet another book club, so isn't that fun? More books to read, more books to read. And on Libby, I do have a couple of books that are coming in this month. We have A Resistance of Witches by Morgan Ryan and LA Women by Ella Berman. Tell me in the comments what you're reading or the favorite book that you read this year was, and I'll add it to my to be read list. Most of the year I didn't use sticker kits on these pages, and you can tell because I have all of the holidays already included, but I didn't need them because they're on this page too, which is kind of silly. I'm going to skip putting in the date dots this time because I already have it dated, and this is just black, so I can use it on any other layout spread. So I'm going to hold on to those. This is definitely the time that I lean into my Christmas traditions planner. This is a very old version from like the way back era. Probably should have replaced it with the new ones, but the new one is just an ultimate holiday binder. You'll recognize this. The binder is a one-stop shop for a joyful, organized season filled with gift planners, decor checklists, party planning pages, things for Thanksgiving, just everything that you could need to have the greatest season. If you want to try it, there is a free sampler in my library at LostWithoutAPlan.com/free, or you can grab the full 45-page version at LostWithoutAPlan.com/shop. Normally, I would be updating an ideal worksheet at this stage in time, but since we're in a steady school year rhythm, I'm just going to leave it as is. I know that in November, like late November, right around Thanksgiving, it might change up because Violet will be starting basketball again. So I'm going to come back to this then. But if you have a season that needs a little reset, MäksēLife has a free ideal schedule printable on their website. I'll make sure to link that down below too, in case you're interested in this printable worksheet. And that wraps up the quarterly focus. So let's move on. Okay, before I start laying in October's goals, I double check my quarter at a glance calendar. I do have a version of this for free on my website. It's just 3 monthly calendars for 2026. This was just a test for the 2027 version, so I just printed it out because it was already done. Then we have our monthly overview, which is another printable. I've put my main goals for the month of October here. As I said, my big one is course creation to finalize everything that I need for the rest of the year. I've gone through and put down my action steps. I have fall fun here. This is my main steps for this. Deciding on recipes, Halloween prep with the costumes and stuff, and buying the tickets to events later on so that I make sure I have good seats before we get too far into the season. Violet has decided she wants to be Rory Gilmore for Halloween, which is super fun. I do have a note that we are not sure about the pumpkin patch because Violet did not really want the pumpkin patch experience, so maybe she just wants to decorate a pumpkin. I'm not really sure about that yet. For goal 3, I have my movement. I'm going to reboot my plan and my rewards in the next few weeks so that I have a plan for the rest of the 3 quarters. I want to add all of these dates to my calendar so that there are appointments that I don't miss, tracking my progress, finding a new show for my walking pad. As I said, when I was so sick last month, I wasn't able to walk because I couldn't breathe. And then I felt really sad that I couldn't watch my show. So I gave in and watched my show even though I was not walking. And I'm almost done with Bones now. So I'm going to get back to watching Bones only on the walking pad. But I need to find a show for after that. So that's my next note there. So right now I'm going to plop all of these things into my October goals. So these 2 right here are my quarter at a glance goals. This is my monthly reset. I'm gonna pop all of these in and then I'll meet you back here for a roundup. Okay, as you can see, I pasted in my quarter 4 goals. We set up our monthly reading tracker. And then I've set my October goals. Putting in most of the focuses that we talked about in the last bit, I broke down a little bit more the Halloween plan, the fall plan. I added family photo prep to the family goals. I have the fall product sale for Girl Scouts in here. I did put a quarter 3 update so that I can catch up on last month's And then I have my holiday checklist down here. Everything else I already went over when I was talking about earlier things. But thank you so much for hanging out with me today as we planned Q4 goals and set goals for October, as well as my reading tracker. And that's a wrap. Thank you for joining me as I set my quarterly and monthly goals for October. I hope this helps you break down your own goals into manageable steps and give yourself grace along the way. Don't forget to check out the freebie library at LostWithoutAPlan.com for the monthly overview printable and so many other tools, including the holiday planner. I'm wishing you an October full of fun and cozy sweaters. I'll see you next week.